Hi there, I'm Braden Butler and I'm the creator of the Lifeworkz Social Emotional Learning Program. If you're here checking this out, that's good. I shall introduce you to myself and a bit of my background and how I've come to this point in my life. About 15 years ago, I found myself divorced. I'd been in a long-term relationship for about 15 years and that ended, and with that came a lot of sadness for me. And I wanted to make sense of that sadness, and I wanted to understand myself better. And I remember having that moment that I clearly had that thought, and so then that took me on a journey, and my journey has kind of started there and has never finished. So everything about this Lifeworkz program is based on my personal experience about what I've learned on the journey, and I'm a very visual person. I like to use metaphors and analogies to make things simpler to understand. I have a very inquisitive mind. I want to understand why. That kind of took me on this journey. I did a lot of brainstorming along the way, and that's where I learned lots of things, because you can pluck out a thought and write it down. That thought can lead to another thought, which can lead to another thought. So brainstorming, from my experience, is actually pretty powerful. So what I did is I went and found a clinical psychologist who I thought sounded like I'd be a good match with, and it turned out that it was, which was great. And so there hence started my journey, and for about 18 months I every 2 weeks would go and see my clinical psych, and we would talk, and I would usually cry. The sadness would come out. Since I was an active participant in this process, and I wasn't there against my will, I was willing to be vulnerable and to allow the clinical psych who encouraged me to express my feelings. I went with it, and so it takes you to some pretty painful places, but strangely enough, in that pain, it's actually where I've learnt my best lessons. So what I've done is I've created a map, so to speak, and it just summarizes those inner parts of us that are driving our behaviors and our actions. And the idea is that the more aware you become of those, the more informed you can start making choices, and so it helps to understand how you think, helps to understand what you're feeling and the thoughts that are connected to that feeling, but also connecting it to the event that has been the catalyst for that feeling and those thoughts. And so then you can start to dissect it. I didn't know what feelings were really. You knew the term had been thrown around a bit, but had never really made an internal connection with what they were and understood them. And so that was a big learning curve for me. Feelings are the fuel behind your behaviour, pretty much. You can have a thought, but it's the feeling behind that pushes you. So what we're going to do in this program, a social emotional learning program, basically it means we're going to introduce you to the world of feelings that are driving your behaviours, become more aware of those, become more aware of your thoughts, and also we're going to dabble into your self-worth, which is the combination of how you think and feel about yourself. And so a social emotional learning program, all it is teaching you to become more aware of those inner forces that are driving you, so that you can then start to make some decisions that are going to enhance your potential. Often usually a feeling is it can be a big roadblock for us. Like, you can go so far and then it stops us from kind of going to that extra level. And it can stop us from doing some really great things. If you're not aware of what that feeling is, you can't actually come up with a plan to go around it, so to speak, or to dissect that roadblock. So you end up repeating the same behaviours over and over and over and over again. You can use this program in your life to suit any situation. It doesn't matter what event it is in your life that you're kind of wrestling with. The concepts that I teach you in here, you can apply them to any scenario, and that's where they really actually gets its power from, and it's empowering. My goal is to be able to equip you with the skills to be able to do this on your own, because you don't want me to be the person you have to come back to all the time. That's not how it works. You want to become the person who then understands how you are working and understands the decisions that you're making and understands how your feelings are affecting you. You can do this, you can learn how to do this, and trust me, I mean, I'm a bloke and I had to learn from scratch. And so it's something that you can learn. We can all learn it if we want to. So I want to be able to equip you with those skills, say, here you go and practice them. And we practice them just in everyday life. When there's an interaction between you and a friend, if you're a teenager, it might be an interaction that happens at school with your peers. If you're adults, it's often between you and your partner or you and your kids. And that's where the complexities start to confuse us. Then I want you to be able to apply those to these scenarios, and hopefully it helps you. Let's see, what else? I have had this program evaluated. I had 30 students evaluated, high school students, and Edith Cowan University did a research. We did some research on the program that I offered these boys, and it turns out that it actually had a positive effect, which was great. So not only do I have this tool and this knowledge to be able to give you, but it's also been validated, and I'm hoping down the track that I can do more. But it's been validated by Edith Cowan University, which is great. What else do you need to know? I throw in a bit of humour as we go along to kind of explain some of the analogies, and so that's just a bit of silly fun in what is essentially a serious topic. And I like to keep it pretty casual. Doesn't mean that my brain is relaxed and casual, but I like to. I'm not interested in fancy lights and spotlights. I take most of my videos outside, and I live on a farm, so it's nice. So yeah, and you might see some of my farm shots as we go along. Okay, I think that's enough, and I hope that's given you a brief overview of what this program will be about. And so look forward to seeing you in the next video. Okay, bye.